Welcome to Garage Gym Athlete Cool Downs. These episodes are short, actionable podcasts pulled from previous interviews and content we've been publishing for the last several years. So go for a walk, hop on the rower, or clip into the bike for this cool down episode. Cool, man. So let's I got to ask this question. And this is like out of the blue, just because I had it on my list, and it's going to seem out of place. But jumping back to you mentioned that handshake being the oxytocin. So something I took away. It's funny because I had it written down in my notebook. Was the daily dose, man. I just think it's so cool. If you have it, still geared up in your memory. What is the daily dose, and how can people take advantage of that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was years and years ago, but I got through a program and I thought it was really, really cool. They talked about body, being, balance, and business being kind of the four aspects of life, and the four areas that we focus on. And me being the personal trainer that I was, for all of us, the only way that we can get better at a lift or improve anything is when our form is on point. Muscle through it, you're going to get hurt, right? So form for me matters. And that's family, occupation, recreation, mindset. So that's kind of how I flipped what I had learned and made it applicable to form my life and kind of understand all four areas of life. And I thought it was a great concept, but it kind of just stayed there for me for quite a while. And just because you mentioned the programming, the nerd side, I mean, we could go down the road of periodization and just have a blast. But I was kind of the same way where I was like, all right, well, what is all this doing? Just like with meditation, like give me some reason and actual proof so that I can buy into this. I needed to do that research myself, just like, I had to do that with physical therapy. And so I started researching just the brain chemicals and trying to understand from a neurological and brain chemical standpoint why we do what we do or why we don't do what we do. So many people talk about being stressed out all the time, and these high levels of cortisol, and chronic cortisol is, going to create so many issues in our bodies and systems. And I think so many people understand that I'm stressed out, I'm producing cortisol, and then it becomes this blame of, well, this is why I'm not losing weight, or this is why, whatever. So all that to say, I figured out that there's four main key chemicals that truly matter. And that's the daily dose. And if you can put these four simple chemicals on tap in your own system and kind of flood them in your own system, tap into them, it fights that cortisol extremely well. And it directly hits every area of life into that form or body, being, balance, and business that we kind of talked about. So the first one is dopamine. It's dose, D-O-S-E. And dopamine, as we know, is such a great little chemical for driving for rewards. And if you're, dating someone, it's that little chemical release that you're going to get when you get that first kiss. But after you get that first kiss, do you really care about getting a first kiss? No, because it's already happened. And it's the same thing when you get you make a sale or you get a bonus at work, and it's great, but you're not going to be focused on it a week later. And so we need to get a little bit of dopamine in our system every single day because it's going to deplete itself. And honestly, we get some when we get those likes and hearts on social media, but it's definitely not a real satisfying hit. And so for myself and for clients and stuff, we just simply make it like, what's the one business or, career win that you need to get for the day? And when you can put down to just simply one thing and get that little dopamine hit, we know we're doing our due diligence to help fight that stress, that cortisol, that is probably creating our lack of ability to focus and get the dopamine hit that we need. So simply getting one simple thing, got to get that dopamine hit every day. The next one is oxytocin, which is kind of your love, your trust chemical, which is why, human contact is so powerful. It's when you've shifted in that dating world from that first kiss to, maybe a little bit more and onward. And I mean, I've been married, 12 years now, so it's long gone from that. And I'm just living in the joys of oxytocin because my spouse, I just, love her and trust her, and she has that in me. And so it's where can we turn on that security? And so often it's just so simple as sending a message of gratitude to someone you love. And what I love about that is that, you're going to make their day. And even if they don't respond in any capacity whatsoever, you're also doing it for you. And you're kind of, like I mentioned earlier, you're casting that vote for being grateful just for what is. And you're teaching yourself then by doing it to be grateful for yourself, which I think is a really challenging thing. But when you do it enough, it magnitudes your appreciation for the people in your life and for yourself and love. And so that little bit of oxytocin is amazing because it stays in your system for quite a while. It's not like dopamine. It just stays there, which is great. And the next one is serotonin. And, serotonin is found in almost all antidepressants and these SSRs. There's a few different ways to get it. 90% of serotonin is actually released in our gut, which is why I'm a huge advocate for learning how to eat and eating the right ways. It's made in your gut based on some tryptophan that turns into melatonin and all this kind of fun stuff. We won't go down the full chemical route, but man, if we can just eat a little bit better and eat some good healthy foods, some omega-3s, makes a huge difference. Which is why, the gut is known as kind of the second brain. So I try and encourage people to eat some foods that stimulate them. And then the second best way to get some serotonin in your system is to meditate. And there's some research showing that a 20-minute meditation session can actually release enough serotonin in your system, like a drip faucet, that it's going to drip and run and just create this feel good that's going to last for 24 hours. And like I said, maybe it's not a 20-minute meditation session you can do, but get what you can to initially start. So that's why I start my day with meditation. And then the last one is the E is endorphins. And as anyone's known from doing a hard workout or going for a run, you get that endorphin high. Man, it just feels good. And it's definitely the fuel for the rest of your day if you're getting it done in the morning type of deal. And it's just going to instantly oxidize your system. And it's not going to last forever, just like dopamine, which is why we kind of have to keep going back to it. But how often have you been kind of stressed out or frustrated and you drop down and do some push-ups or something, and it forces you to breathe better, forces you to not have that short, anxious breath, get oxygen in your system, get your blood flowing, and clears your brain. And man, when you have all four of these going on an every single day basis, you kind of operate from a different place of clarity, a different place of power. And it's as simple as, going after that one win that you need to for the day, sending a message of gratitude or giving a hug to that person that you love, meditating or making sure you're eating something that's going to help fuel you, and getting that sweat on every single day.
Thanks for listening to today's Cool Down. If for some ridiculous reason you are not subscribed to Garage Gym Athlete programming, fix that problem right now. Go to GarageGymAthlete.com, sign up for a free trial, get started with us today. Thanks for listening.